Welcome back to another EVE Online solo mining video. This is going to be episode 13. We're going to be talking about gas mining, specifically gas mining in LoSec, and comparing the venture and the prospect, which I've seen a lot of debate on. And arguably, when I first started gas mining, I also too debated on which ship was actually better. Now, in terms of yield, both the venture and the prospect have the exact same roll bonuses, which translates into them having the same duration or activation time and mining amount. So really, the discussion and the comparison between these two ships in terms of gas mining comes down to what tools you want to have available to you. Let's talk about the mining hold real quick. The Venture will hold 5,000 cubic meters, while the Prospect will hold 12,500. Normally, in mining, this would make a big difference, but inherently, gas is already pretty small. In most cases, in LoSec, mining an entire gas site, you'd maybe fill up the prospect at the very least. Now, most of the time, realistically speaking, in real world conditions, you're probably not going to be able to stay on grid long enough to actually fill either ship up. So, in terms of just what you can actually go out and come back with, the ship with the greatest mining hold will always hold the greatest amount. The Venture will hold anywhere somewhere in the neighborhood of like 20 to 25 million in gas value, whereas the Prospect will be a little bit over double that at being like 50 to 55 million. But I don't think that you should just consider the size of the ore hold in terms of which ship you go after. Now, I want to talk about the actual cost of the ship. And considering that you can make your fit as expensive as you want, I will be just comparing the hull price and the scoop price for both ships. At the time of recording this video, the Venture with 2 Tech 2 gas scoops will cost you somewhere in the neighborhood of 9 million. The Prospect, on the other hand, with also 2 Tech 2 gas scoops, will cost you upwards to and around 25 or more million. Now, if you're a new player and you're wanting to get into gas mining, which is one of the best things that you can do as far as ISK return per hour, while I'm gas mining, I will actually do project discovery. And in the time it takes for me to actually fill up or get all the gas I can in that session, project discovery is already paid for the Venture. Now, if you are a more seasoned player and you have more skills available to you, then I would suggest maybe the Prospect. Either way, both ships are going to have a core scanner probe in order to find the gas sites, unless you have an alt that's going out and pre-scouting for you. So, in terms of that, the Prospect being able to use a covert cloak is kind of a moot point, because either you go down to 1 gas scoop and you run a core scanner probe launcher and your covert ops, or you go with the 2 scoops like I'm doing here with the probe launcher. Arguably, the covert ops cloaking device is not going to help you too much once you're in system, because you're going to be uncloaked while you're mining, and then if anybody comes on grid with you, they'll be able to technically see which direction you go. But the covert ops cloak does help with logistics. So something I do recommend if you're using the Prospect is to carry a covert ops cloaking device with you, or your probe launcher. And so essentially what you would do is you would gate with your covert ops cloak. When you get to a system that has a good amount of cosmic signatures and you're ready to scan, dock into an NPC station, switch out your covert ops cloak for your probe scanner, and then go to town. This allows you to kind of easily get past gate camps or situations on gates that you want to avoid, but it also adds kind of another level of tediousness that you have to worry about. But that all is going to come down to what your preferences are. If I was going to go out and do a lot of gas mining and just really just grind it out, I would probably take a Venture, because they're just cheaper overall. And I'm not really going to be utilizing a cloak, and that's one of the biggest benefits of having the Prospect. You can make amazing amounts of ISK with either of these ships, since they both have the same yield. Now, I want to end this video, and I want to address something also that I feel like a lot of people tend to kind of overlook in terms of gas mining. And what that is on paper, gas mining is amazing. The income is great. The difficulty is actually finding the gas sites. You can technically find gas sites in HiSec, but it's very, very competitive. And you'd have to essentially already be in your ship. You have to scan it down when it first shows up and then get in there really, really quick because they're just highly sought after. Now, in terms of low sec, you have to move around quite a bit and find them. Usually I try to target systems that are, 2 or 3 or 4 cosmic signatures. And most of the time, a lot of what you're going to be finding is going to be wormholes and combat sites. And you don't want to be scanning everything down completely. If you know it's not a gas site, ignore result and move on. This is technically why I end up kind of leaning towards the prospect in most cases, because you do spend a lot of time moving around while you're doing gas mining. Gas mining will always be better than ore mining because of the high value of the gas, because of the scarcity, and just because it's a lot harder to do than just normal mining. But also, you're going to have a lot of downtime. Remember that as well. And you kind of do have to block out some time to find those gas sites and actually get in there and get that stuff done. Don't let that discourage you at all. Gas mining is amazing if you can get the skills trained for it, and you can get into either the venture or the prospect and you can find a gas site, you'll do great. Now, would I suggest trying to find high-sec gas sites? No, you're going to waste a lot of time. Once you get a little bit better, if you're a new player, once you get a little bit better and used to the game and you're able to kind of dip into low sec and kind of keep moving and stay on your toes, that's probably where you're going to find most of your gas. And then the other portion of that is actually wormhole space where you can find gas as well. And there's also some gas in nullsec as well, but it's a lot more it's a lot rare to find. But there are systems that are more prone to actually having that kind of stuff. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to end this video on kind of a positive note, just so it doesn't sound too daunting to new players. But I'm going to give you guys an idea of what I've kind of done in the past couple of hours as far as gas mining goes. And as you can see here, this is the current valuation of what my ore hold is, and this is just from a couple hours going to a couple different systems, getting a little bit here, a little bit there. But yeah, almost 90 million, right? And some of this was done, most of this was done the prospect, but also I did a few trips in the venture as well, just to kind of take that out for a spin. But it is very possible to plex yourself. You can pay for your Omega easily with gas as long as you're patient, and it doesn't take a lot, right? Couple hours. I don't even think it was 2 hours. Maybe it was like an hour and a half of just kind of chilling and doing this. So hopefully this is a positive motivation for you to get out there and puff some gas. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully I kind of shed some light on the comparison between the venture and the prospect, and maybe gave you a little bit of information on gas mining that you didn't already have. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.